This is a special edition of Late Night Health. I'm Mark Alyn. Well, COVID is rearing its ugly head. Viruses during the holiday season are attacking everybody, and we're going to try to help mitigate that during the next 10 minutes or so. Our guest is Dr. Amna Husain, and she is a pediatrician, and she is partnered with Abbott. And we're going to find out what we can do at home to stay away from COVID. I've had it, not once, but twice. I should have talked to you first. Doctor, welcome to Late Night Health.
Thank you for having me.
What is the first thing we should do? We've become lax. I went to the market the other day. I've been going to the market for the last 2 or 3 months. I've been wearing my mask. I'm starting again because here in the LA area, COVID numbers are up. I don't want to get it.
Yeah, well, you already said it. What's the first thing you can do? We're becoming lax. Well, putting a mask back on, that helps to mitigate spread. Now, we also have a lot of other tools in our toolkit. Now that we've kind of been doing this for 2 years, unfortunately, we do know that vaccines can help really decrease the severity of the illness. And that's one thing that's very important, especially when you're looking at elderly, immunocompromised. Now, generally, another thing I really highly recommend is having access to at-home testing that's not only reliable, but also accurate. And COVID-19 BinaxNOW Self Test by Abbott are just that, because not only do you have ready access, but you get 2 tests within a package. So the good news is that you not only can test early, especially if it's at home, throw it at the box into your carry-on if you're traveling, but also you can test frequently because they do give multiple tests within a package. So picking up on those symptoms early is key because you can kind of take some steps to prevent further spread, reaching out to those who've been around you with close contact so that they can test. It's really a downstream effect, especially with public health.
I get confused. I didn't go to doctor school. I went to, TV and radio and film school. How do I tell the difference between COVID, the flu, which is also up in numbers right now, and the common cold? They all have very similar symptoms.
Well, I'm going to be honest, even if you went to doctor school, it wouldn't help very much because same thing, I tell my patients that by the naked eye, I can't really tell either. Sure, I might have a better inkling, but generally, testing is really the only way to determine which virus you have that causes which cold symptoms you have. And so I really only test as a pediatrician if it's going to change my management. So generally, for example, if I have a patient who I'm concerned has COVID-19, they need to be tested because you can stop immediately, quarantine, isolate them from others, wear their mask, put them in a separate bathroom, have that individual reach out to others who they've been around. And those steps are very important to help mitigate spread. Now, if I have a young child who might be a Tamiflu candidate, depending on where their symptom onset is, that's when I would test for the flu as well, because it could change your management. And for the other viruses, for example, it may not change management as much to know which virus is responsible, but definitely for COVID, you're going to want to know if you are positive for that virus so you could take the appropriate steps. And BinaxNOW COVID-19 self-tests will give you that peace of mind to determine the answer.
Do you think that people have become lax? I mean, as you mentioned a few moments ago.
Yeah. I definitely relate to what you said. What you said early on, you said that you feel like people are getting lax. I understand, and I get it too. We're going into 2 years. I kind of live in this world as a healthcare professional, as someone who takes care of patients. But I understand that other people want to be rid of it, and they don't want to live sort of with this COVID shadow hanging over them, and we're doing our best, but I'm seeing more and more parties, more gatherings, which are great, but we can still do that in a sensible way. That might mean staying home if you're sick, please. That's the first step. But
Right.
The second step is testing maybe before you go, testing after if you've had any symptoms, making sure you're hand washing. We've talked about masking in crowded indoor areas, disinfecting and sanitizing surfaces frequently, keeping away from your eyes, your nose, your mouth. These are all things that we still recommend.
I wash my hands like 10 times a day. I have this thing. What about the testing kit itself? Is it easy?
Yes, definitely. So I have used it myself, but also used it on my little one who's 4 years old. So the test is approved for 2 and up. which is really great, but easy to use with simple instructions. I think at this point we're all very used to swabbing our nose or having our noses swabbed. But the important thing is to know that it comes with 2 tests, that we do recommend you use them frequently, so at least after 24 hours, and making sure that if you are feeling symptoms, you can test early on so you can determine if you are positive, you take those steps early on to stop the spread. Now, if you do need more information, there are some great resources out there to purchase the BinaxNOW Self Test by Abbott, either in-store or online. Those would be Walgreens, Walmart, or CVS.
Got it. And I've been at CVS, and I think I have 4 or 5 of them upstairs right now. I do. We test frequently because I don't want to get it yet again. Thank you very much, Doctor, for being here. Is there a website that people can go to?
Yes, so if you are, again, interested in learning more or to purchase the BinaxNOW COVID-19 self-tests, Walgreens, Walmart, and CVS offer options in-store or online to purchase the testing.
Terrific. And I think insurance and for some of that as well.
Yes.
Listen, Doctor, thank you very much for joining us here on this special edition of Late Night Health. I'm Mark Alyn. This is Late Night Health.